Welcome to the Switchboard YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing De'Aaron Fox and where we think he should go if he's traded from the Sacramento Kings. So about on the 28th of January 2025, we heard the news that the Kings were willing to trade De'Aaron Fox to a suitor, whoever that may be, due to the fact that De'Aaron Fox seems to not be uh, happy in his situation with the Sacramento Kings, and I think they don't want to fully commit to a future with De'Aaron Fox. And I think the two situations have come full force and have led to both parties wanting to find an endpoint to uh, the disgruntlement. I think De'Aaron Fox is a talented player. He's averaging 25 points per game, and he has three-point shooting. He has the ability to go inside and drive to the basket with his speed and pace. He's a player that's very fast, especially in transition. Can move from one point of the court to the other part of the court with such speed and accuracy. Something that we haven't seen in a while, and we don't see often. I think he could very well play alongside the likes of Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs. I think that could be a good matchup, a good player that you could play with, be the point guard to Victor Wembanyama. You have Chris Paul there as well, maybe as a player that could fill in the blanks. But that could be a good partnership. The Spurs would probably have to give up Stephen Castle, maybe another player, maybe two of their first round picks, one in 2025 and the other I think in 2027. I was watching ESPN and Bobby Marks was breaking down the trade that would happen between the Spurs and the Sacramento Kings, and he said at least two or three picks would have to go from the Spurs to the Sacramento Kings. So it wouldn't be a cheap transition or cheap trade. It would be something that would require quite a few assets. That's something I think the Sacramento Kings are willing to accept, and I think that's something that the Spurs are willing to do because they need that extra talent, that extra player that has that superstar potential to really take them from playoff contention to being a road title contender. I think that's what Victor Wembanyama wants at this stage of his career. I know he's only in his second year, but he's playing like an all-star. He's playing like an all-NBA candidate, and it's something that we need to really consider. We saw him in Paris this past weekend, and he looked like he was every bit as advertised, scoring 30 points on one occasion, and he looked impressive. And I hope he can get that help that he needs. I think him and Chris Paul have had a very good partnership, but I think a player like De'Aaron Fox can really elevate their game to another level. We also see a potential trade between the Denver Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings. The only tradable assets that the Denver Nuggets have is Michael Porter Jr. They don't have any first round picks, according to Bobby Marks from ESPN. They don't have any first round picks. They don't have any second round picks. And Jamal Murray can't be traded because I think he just recently signed a deal, and Gordon can't be traded either. So you have an issue right there when you have untradeable assets and you don't have the assets required, trade assets, or I should say draft pick assets to negotiate a trade, which can be problematic. So you're left with only a few more options. We look for maybe the Golden State Warriors, maybe they can bring a package together, a couple of players, they have a couple of pieces that they could really negotiate with. Andrew Wiggins, some other pieces to really get De'Aaron Fox. Plus, De'Aaron Fox is Under Armour Curry brand athlete, so you have that chemistry there with Stephen Curry, and they went to, I think it was China this past summer together. So I think they have the chemistry, they have the camaraderie, they have everything there. So I think that could be something special, to say the least. I think De'Aaron Fox is a very talented player. He's got an amazing potential, an amazing ability. His ability to just contribute on many facets. He's playing with Sabonis, and Sabonis is a double-double machine. He's also a triple-double player, a threat from all over the floor. Yeah, really, you can also space the floor, and that's something that if you're now comparing him to Wembanyama, you can see an elevation in Wembanyama's game where he's shooting the three at a consistent rate. And I think that's that type of spacing on the floor with De'Aaron Fox could allow a lot of penetration, a lot of drive to the basket, a lot of space in the interior for them to really take advantage of. You got Sohan, who's a predominantly driver, someone that drives to the basket. So there's a lot of space now for these other players to really drive to the basket, take advantage of their ability. Um, I think De'Aaron Fox has a great potential. He has a great ability. From what I hear, he's a hard worker, and I think the problem was with the Sacramento Kings was the Sacramento Kings after this year. So De'Aaron Fox has 1 more year in his contract after this year, which makes him a free agent in the 2027, if I'm not mistaken, 2026 NBA season, 2076 to 2027 NBA season. So I think he wanted a supermax deal this year if he was able to make All NBA, or I think he wanted a supermax deal, so which would make him the more highest paid player ever. But I don't think the Sacramento Kings are willing to pay him that much money, and I think that was the reason why he doesn't feel happy with the Sacramento Kings. Plus, I think him going to the playoffs and not reaching the playoffs since they got to the playoffs has contributed to him feeling a bit disgruntled, feeling a bit at an uneasy state due to the fact that his team has struggled to really get past the hump and reach the playoffs again. So with all that being said, I think De'Aaron Fox, his best situation right now, best scenario for him would be to leave and find a new suitor who could really complement his talents and really allow him to elevate and really allow him to reach the next level in his NBA career. He's only 27 years old. He's in the prime. He's in his prime, and when you're in your prime, it's time to maximize those years. Get into a situation which can really maximize your talents, where you can play meaningful basketball. Because the Sacramento Kings in the last 10 games have been 7-3, but before that, they didn't have a good record. They were losing a lot of games, which led to Mike Brown being fired. And it was a situation where the team felt like Mike Brown didn't understand the team on a level where they felt like he had the experience of being a past player, like to understand what the players go through. They didn't feel like he understood what they were going through, and that was mentioned by Malik, I should say. Yeah, the names get confusing. Malik, he said that he felt the new coach that they have right now, the interim coach, because he was a former player, he seems to understand them more. So I feel like with all that being said, you can tell like there's a level of the way they see each other, the coach. There's a different level of respect there. There's a different level of like they want to play for this coach. They want to be under this coach, and that's reflecting on the scoreboard. That's reflecting the results. And I feel like player coaches these days are doing well in the league. You can see a lot of change in the league these days, where you have you have different coaches who played. You have the Houston Rockets player coach. You have the Lakers who have a player coach. You have Golden State Warriors Steve Kerr player coach. You have a lot of teams with player coaches, and they seem to do well. So it might not be a coincidence that we see a player coach doing well. It has a lot to do with a coach understanding what the players have gone through, understanding what the pro life is about. And I feel like De'Aaron Fox, if he went to Golden State, if he went to a team like that, I think he would benefit from being under a player coach, which has allowed his team to do well and allowed him to elevate his game. I think early on in the season, he was averaging about 29 points, maybe 30 points. I think he was averaging a ridiculous amount. He was really playing at a high level. But since then, he has eased off the accelerator, and he's cooled off, to say the least. He's cooled off, and he's not striding at the same pace, but he's still providing enough production to warrant him being one of the best players in the league and being respected as a superstar. can we call him a superstar? I think we can call him a superstar. I think he's got superstar potential. I think he contributes at a high level, and I think there's a lot to enjoy about his game. There's a lot to enjoy when we're watching De'Aaron Fox, and I think the future is bright for him. But I think if he gets into the right situation, I think this could really change the trajectory of his career and allow him to really make an impact as a playoff player, not just a regular season player. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you for tuning into the Switchboard YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more content. Thank you.